What is up, YouTube? This is Kyan Cannon from Arguably Georgia Sports, and today we're going to be previewing the Georgia versus Georgia Tech game.
This will be hopefully not a very interesting game, but because hopefully it'll be a blowout. Georgia is 10-1 right now. Georgia Tech is 5-5 going into the game. FPI, which is the dumbest thing on the planet, gives Georgia a 78.7% chance to beat Georgia Tech. I have buy no stock into that. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I think Tech would probably win. It's actually pretty accurate, about 1 out of every 4. Georgia coming off of a big win, Tech coming off of a loss. That may favor either one of the teams. I mean, usually a team does better after a loss, or they could be on a hangover. It could be either way.
Yeah. So the spread is 11.5. I think that's about accurate. I don't think this is going to be a blowout, especially who Tech is. They're not going to.
Yeah,
both
teams run the ball a lot. So
it's going to be a shorter game. It might be under 3 hours.
Lots of running, big run yards, but I think Georgia's going to try to throw it a lot.
I don't know,
but I think they're going to see the problem with
Tech has a pretty good pass defense. They got a very experienced secondary. They got the Austin twins, which are both juniors.
I mean, they give up 144 passing yards a game. 100. Oh, almost 200 every game.
Georgia almost gives up 170, so it's pretty close.
Yeah, that's Georgia's weakness in the defense.
And so they got a senior second. They got like an upperclassman secondary. I think it's going to be a running game full of runs, and I think it's going to be a close game. And I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter.
I do not. Okay. So here's one thing. Obviously, Georgia's the better team this year. Nobody can debate that. And also, this game is the reason so many of the seniors returned. Javon Wims, the number 1 receiver. There was...
Wow, that's an honor.
He is. No. He if I can find his stats here. He is Georgia's number 1 receiver. He has caught, let's see this. The season, 33 balls, averaging 16.8 yards. He's gotten 5 touchdowns. He's the number 1 target. When Georgia throws the ball, it's usually to him or Godwin.
And somehow Georgia Tech's leading receiver almost has as much as him, Ricky June.
Well, yeah, because the way that Georgia Tech plays with their pass game is they design a pass, and it's basically go deep, and so that's how it works.
Yeah, but let's be honest. I mean,
because they don't throw the ball as much, but when they do, it's a deep pass for a touchdown.
But who else does Georgia have that can catch the ball? Nobody.
Godwin,
he's meh.
I mean, he has in my opinion, their second best catch of the year against Notre Dame. Did you see that? Odell, with a guy on him, bobbles the ball and catches it. But I think Javon Wims had the greatest catch with, I don't remember. I think it was Florida. He caught the ball, and there was a defender on him, but he was about 3 yards short of the touchdown, and he turned around and stretched it out.
So, yeah, but I think it's going to be a very short game. I don't think it's going to take that long. And then neither team's passed for that many yards a game, though. Tech, obviously, they're actually last in the FBS with 90 yards. But you see, Tech's okay with that because they're not.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. See, Georgia, they don't give up many yards, like every game, but like they have one of the best rush defenses in the country. And that's just perfect for them playing Georgia Tech. So all of these seniors that are returning, it's mainly for this game because all of the seniors right now.
So this over the Florida game, none of them until this year hadn't even beaten Florida.
I know, but this is a bigger rivalry for them.
Maybe they're just not good enough to make the NFL. Who knows?
No, Nick Chubb and Sony Michel are definitely going to the NFL. Javon Wims is definitely going to the NFL. Their leading pass rusher is definitely going to the NFL.
No, Wims is not going to the NFL. Well, maybe he will.
He is.
He'll be like a 6th or 7th round pick. He's not going to have a 6th.
But he will. He's an extremely good receiver. And we had Roquan Smith. No, he's not a senior.
Mm-hmm.
We got lots of people.
I mean, just okay. One point I want to bring up is
because they all have a losing record against Tech, and they one don't want to end on a loss, and two don't want to have a losing record, and that motivated them, and they are not going to lose this game.
And one thing I want to bring up is that Tech hasn't lasted home since early last season.
Yeah, but Georgia is one of the best traveling teams in the country, and Tech has a small stadium.
It's not that small.
It's average compared to.
It's slightly above average compared to the rest of the Power 5. And it's also the oldest stadium in all of college football.
And that changes what?
I don't know, nothing. Just want to give it some respect.
Yep.
Taquan Marshall, though, he's. I think there's no doubt that he scores in this game. He's got 17 touchdowns through just 10 games, rushed for over 1,000 yards. Averaging.
Well, I mean, of course you're gonna get a rushing touchdown.
Averaging almost 5 yards per carry. Yeah, I don't think Georgia covers the spread. Maybe they're close to it. I think Georgia.
Okay. Let me just. You're saying that Georgia, the number 7 team in the country, their one loss to Auburn.
By 23.
But that doesn't even matter, because it's Georgia Tech. They're 5-5.
Just wanted to say this.
The one thing that they can't do is the only thing that is Georgia's weakness in the defense, which is the pass defense. And Georgia Tech does not pass the ball.
Yeah, but when they do, you know what? They go deep.
Yeah, I know they go deep. But we have some of the best.
I think Georgia Tech is going to score at least once on one of those plays.
How many scores do you think they're going to have?
At least one.
So you're saying they get 7
the passing game? No, like in the
like total.
Game. No.
What's your score prediction?
Oh, total? Well, I'm not gonna. I can't pick against Tech. I'm not gonna do that. So I'm gonna say 28-24.
Tech wins.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be kidding me. If you're going to make a reliable pick, it's not about biases.
I'm not talking about bias. I mean, I can't pick against Tech, and I truly do think that they're going to win this game. I think Georgia's going to sleep on them. I think they're going to come up with some pass plays. Just
oh,
like
my
you
gosh.
Said, Georgia has a weak secondary.
Well, yeah, but that's not really going to affect them much because they only pass the ball about 3 times a game.
Actually, it's like 8 to 10. Yeah, that's like triple. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a good game.
I don't think so. I think Georgia is going to come in here motivated. This is the one thing they have left to accomplish. This is the one thing in their regular season that they haven't accomplished yet. They won all of their games in the East.
You could say that if
that was the first time in history.
You could listen.
They're in the SEC championship. This is the only thing they have left to do.
Yeah, you could say,
and that's all.
You could say that if they were playing Mercer.
No, because
if it's
Mercer.
Game, oh, that's not something we need to accomplish. We don't need to beat Mercer.
Well, I mean, you're not worried about Mercer. You could be, to a certain degree, worried about Tech. And, I mean, of course, they're going to be focused all week on Tech, and they're going to focus more on the run defense and defending the big play.
Which is why I think that Paul Johnson's going to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, but that I mean, of course, you're expecting him to switch it up. Of course, you're expecting him to switch it up because they have to do something that they don't usually do to surprise Georgia. That's
a bad thing?
No, that's what they have to do. So Georgia's going to be expecting them to switch it up. So they're going to be a little bit more like against Wake Forest. They passed like the first 3 plays at the end. Wake Forest was not expecting that, right? But so Georgia's going to be expecting that.
So Georgia's going to plan for them to pass the first couple times in the game.
No, but they're going to be ready for it.
That's what audibles are for.
They're going to be ready for it.
That's what audibles are for. I mean, you have an experienced quarterback who's going to be making He's going to be able to make these reads. I'm just
Freshman? Experienced?
He's a junior.
Then why did he never play when JT was still there?
Because JT was better.
Okay, so you're saying an experienced quarterback who got beat out by the last quarterback, who went into the NFL to play for a cornerback, wasn't good enough to play quarterback in the NFL.
He was faster, so what he's better. He's just a little bit. And he had a medical redshirt last year too. So.
Okay. And I also think you have,
and he was a sophomore too, and JT was a senior.
So I just want to say this.
So you think he's going to start over somebody who's led them to the Orange Bowl and the ACC championship?
I just want to say this, okay? So Georgia Tech's strength is their run game. That's Georgia's strength on defense, right? Georgia's strength on offense is run game. Georgia Tech's strength on defense is pass defense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's set up perfectly.
You don't think that the head coaches know a little bit more about this than you do? They're going to make adjustments. I'm expecting Tech to blitz a lot.
Well, of course they're going to. But pass rushing, I mean, they're going to play man coverage, pretty much. Mm-hmm. But Georgia passes more than Tech, and they rarely come into a formation where there's no running back. Mm-hmm. Tech never does that. However, Georgia has an extremely accurate quarterback.
No. You think Fromm is an extremely accurate quarterback?
I'm gonna pull up his
You think Fromm?
His stats. He's 117 out of 192.
Fromm is a game manager. That's what Fromm is. He's not a superstar quarterback. He's not.
I mean, okay, he could be.
He's not an all-SEC quarterback, but he's not.
No, but he could be if they actually threw the ball. But that's the thing. They don't have to because their run game is so dang good.
Here, pull up Fromm's stats, okay? Fromm is...
Only 5 interceptions on the entire year. Just to put this up, Marshall has 4, and they throw the ball less than half of what Georgia does. He has 1,766 pass yards. His completion percentage is 60, which is pretty good.
That's game manager. That's not bad. That's not great.
No, I mean, because that's all he has to do. Okay, his QBR average is 80.
Fromm is a game manager who's slightly better than Well, I don't even know if he's better than Eason. We haven't seen.
He is way better than Eason.
We haven't seen.
That's why he's starting.
Okay, the last time you saw Eason actually saw Eason besides the Vanderbilt game in the beginning of the App State game was last year, and he was a freshman.
He played at the end of Kentucky.
Okay, he played they still just ran the ball.
But they didn't think, exactly, because they didn't think he was good enough to pass the ball.
No, because they had a big lead. And they were...
No. I mean, he's putting up good numbers, though, in passing.
It's good enough.
Well, yeah, because that's all they need. Yeah, they're not going to put him... Against Missouri, he passed for 326 yards. You call that good enough? That's above average.
They were playing Missouri.
So? I mean, 326 passing yards is good against...
the worst defense in the SEC.
It's good against anybody.
You don't think that Tech his defense is miles ahead of Missouri's?
It's good against Oklahoma.
Okay, sure. You're comparing Oklahoma to Missouri?
It's good against any Big 10 team. I mean, Big 12. Because
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, Mahomes last year for Texas Tech passed for like 700 yards in the Big 12.
Well, that's because it's dominated by offense, but
exactly.
But Georgia's not a they're not a team that
he did that in one game.
You can't make any reasonable argument for Georgia Tech. There's none. 0. They're clearly the worst team.
They are more experienced.
Their weaknesses and strengths match up perfectly to Georgia's. They have no passing game. They have not a great defense.
I won't say no passing game. I mean, against Virginia Tech, quarterback threw for like 160 yards and 2 long touchdowns.
That's 160 yards?
On 2 complete passes.
Well, yeah, because all they do is the deep pass.
Yeah, and it worked against a very good Virginia Tech.
Well, yeah,
defense.
I mean that's all they do. So you pass it for two times a game. You can't call that a dominant pass game, no matter how many yards you get on it.
But you're saying you have no pass game. That's a pass game, throwing for 2 touchdowns.
2 entire touchdowns.
2 long touchdowns. That's no pass game.
Well, because that's the only.
How many touchdowns did Fromm throw against Notre Dame?
I have no idea.
He threw like 1.
I know he had at least 2. At least.
And was that any passing game?
Yes, because he did not throw the ball only twice. Threw the ball a lot more than twice.
Yeah, but those 2 times were the ones that really matter. That mattered the most.
Well, yeah, but he also threw the ball a lot driving down the field because that matters too. The touchdown plays aren't the only thing that matters. If you played a game with only touchdown plays, then that would not be all that fun to watch.
Well, see, you talk about the strengths and weaknesses matching up, but here's the thing: Tech has a great running game, right?
Yep, Georgia has the
So
best.
you don't think they're gonna be? You don't think the Georgia defense is gonna be at least tested? I mean, this is probably their biggest test of the year, and facing the run game. By far.
I mean, Notre Dame has a big run game, but they don't completely. Well, that's because all the Tech does is run the ball.
Exactly. Still big
Yeah,
test.
but I mean, they only get like 3 yards a carry.
Go with what works.
It's not gonna happen. You can't make any logical argument for Tech. None.
Okay, we'll see when the game comes. You better. You better. Okay, if listen.
You're pretty. Okay, this is
Will
the
you
most
be
ridiculous.
quiet? No, thank you.
28-24.
Believe it.
You say that Georgia's defense is gonna give up 28 points.
I didn't say they're all going to be offensive touchdowns.
You're saying that Georgia's Tech's defense is gonna get multiple defensive scores,
I did say multiple.
or at least one.
Maybe. Who knows? I mean, listen, the game hasn't been played. If you listen,
But it's just the goal is to pick a game without a bias. Nobody in their right mind would pick Tech unbiased.
man, if Tech beats you, you better. What's going to be your excuse? I want to hear this.
Well, I'm not gonna have to come up with one because it's not gonna happen.
Man, if Tech beats you, which they will.
But if you say they're definitely going to,
I didn't say definitely.
in your mind you said which they
I
will.
never think a game is definitely going to go the way I'm predicting it. Never. Even Alabama Mercer.
I thought definitely that game.
Yeah,
No,
well,
don't miss me because it's. But yeah, no, it's just it. We need to figure out something to do.
okay, this podcast has gone on for like, I think over half an hour. And so that's gonna no.
It's
not
been
quite.
18 minutes.
I saw the time wrong.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna conclude it for us. Can't wait for the game Saturday.
Comment below who you think is gonna win.
And as always, but not really as always, but now always, second video of the day is done. Bye.